to build a solar power tower? It doesn't have to be a solar power tower. Answer the question about the solar power tower! Known as an Autobot master builder, Grapple is an optimistic architect with a passion. His creations were his work of art. Unfortunately, the war between the Cybertronians doesn't allow much free range. In his efforts, his work is usually put in the construction of what's most important for the time, putting him in a depressive mood. However, he does connect well with the supportive Hoist, who offers a creative touch to his projects. Grapple gets a new toy in the Siege follow-up, Earthrise, continuing the Generations War for Cybertron toys. Quick note with the box, the Earthrise backdrops have a piece of a map and a transparent red decoder you can use to see the already visible lines. Smart. Grapple transforms into a construction crane, very similar to his original style of his Generation 1 alt mode. Just like it, you can pretty much tell what's what. Robots in disguise didn't really seem to catch on here. Oh yeah, normal retro truck here, down to the bubble shape of certain components and squared windows, nice clean bumper, headlights, windshield wipers, and I don't know if the shoulder bits are supposed to be seats, but let's just say it is and give them extra credit. Even looking at the horns on top, you might not know what era of truck this is. I'm sure someone's saying 80s because 80s toy, but you could make a guess and I wouldn't argue. 40s? Sure, why not? But Grapple is an allegory for high school. Sure, it looks good from the start, but then you look back and it's messy and you start to panic having an existential crisis on asking her to the prom, and if she says no, it's gonna be the worst day ever and you'll cry at the punch bowl listening to Green Day over the speaker watching the cute couple dance. I mean, it gets messy. Arms are right there, and you know what every piece will go to, but it's more blocky than the original toy, so while it's obvious, especially with the front sticking out, taunting me on what we could have had, the result does come together to make a fair-looking crane. And with some key details, it's like they were given the task to do the original, but make it good with what they got. Of course, we've got to talk about the pegs on the back. For those who don't know, a lot of people are having trouble pegging the back in or taking them out because it's too tight, followed with potential breakage issues with the peg because it's only stuck on a wall of plastic. I think it's tight so it doesn't slip out while the crane is holding something, but it's still recommended that you either sand down the peg or modify it to some capacity. I just barely pegged the thing in and it seems to be fine, but look into a more safer approach. Now, how can we ignore the beautiful crane? You can lock it in fully back and the hook can fit right between the arms, but let's extend it out for the full effect. Looks nice, and you can use either the hook, which no complaints here, or flip it back, expose the porthole, and use the grapple claw to save Toy Story 3. I'll name it Gladys. It could go up, down, spin around. There's even a clip for ramps to attach for the full construction playability. You can also store all the weapons with the hose tapping to the side sitting well with the arm, and the gun just plugs to the side. You can also store the claw, but it looks like a facehugger got stuck. There's also additional portholes on the side and siege blast pegs on the crane arm. You can even take the gun, plug it to the crane, and demand Optimus takes your art seriously. It's not a phase! Just note, these hydraulic lifts look like they come out. The details even look like a hollow panel is behind it, but it's all one piece teasing you. Mine looks like the actual cylinders are glued in, so Inferno remold anyone? It's also pretty small, especially compared to the Reveal the Shields toy. We still love you, but this is pure Grapple. Given what they came from, Grapple does a pretty good job at updating it close to the original. While the crane mode could look better, what they're doing here is actually a lot of fun. Just remember the peg issue. Robot mode. Grapple is clearly representing the working man of the Autobots. With the help of his construction vehicle alt mode bringing in that theme and the orange color, it's hard to look past, but whoa, what a solid looking figure. Now I understand the caution stripes. It's to warn for oncoming sexiness. Sure, there's hollow bits if you want to be a nag, but look at the shaping of the arms and legs, so smooth and classy. Not much is painted in, but I think that's the intention to outline some of the details in the cartoon. It's subtle, but really works for him. I also love the torso that represents the alt form with the complete cab. It even bubbles over to give him a slight beer gut. Sure, the backpack sticks out and doesn't do the majestic collapse of the masterpiece, but it doesn't need to, and with it, crane face. Deploy Master in Disguise Turtle Club mode. Surrounded by a box because he wants attention, the head is free to rotate on the joint with easy access. And what a nice mold despite his face looking like he's disappointed by his own farts. The blue eyes are too thin, leaving the yellow seeping through, and while people might prefer the black helmet, I'm much happier with the orange. Did someone say, articulation? Head rotates, shoulders out and in, forward to back rotation below, elbow bend, waist rotates, hips out and in, forward to back rotation below, knee joint, and foot tilt. Posability is insanely good, and it gets even better when you dislocate the feet. So much you can do, the crane arm doesn't even get in the way. I will say the panel in the arm disconnects easily, but I'm not letting it ruin my fun. Also, he is pretty short, but with those joints mentioned, he gains super shoes. Let's take a look at the accessories. Grapple comes with a small hose nozzle you can store in the back from the tab. You can flip around the hand, and using the porthole, it plugs in to create a more cartoon-accurate version. Huh. Don't know how these pro builders work with just one hand. With the hands flipped back, you can do so much with it. Maybe add combiner hands and realize this is a rookery mold, obviously. He also comes with the handgun you can store in the back with the side pegs, and it's good for him, but it's also generic enough to be added to a character who needs it more. I mean, he has other weapons, and Sunstreaker is forced to recycle the backpack. I could tell who's the favorite. He also comes with the claw, that you could store on the side and look dumb, or give him a claw tail, maybe even the claw face. Why isn't Clawface a Transformer yet, Hasbro? I'm loving the claw. It's both ridiculous fun, yet seemingly practical given the character. Now we just need to give Prowl a helicopter hat. He's covered in portholes for weapons, including the side of the arms, legs, feet, and using the crane the back. He's also got a bunch of ports for blast effects that are not even between the sides, with his one nipple and multiple points on the crane. You can completely siege him up. Earthrise him up. Weapons. I still love the reveal of the shield's toy, and his mass is impressive, but I love how this moves and looks like the legit character. You can also flip down the crane through the legs, and remember that gif? You know the one. You're not a Transformers fan if you haven't seen the gif. Grapple is such an amazing figure. I wasn't sure about these Generations figures going so much in the direction of the cartoon, but now I realize this is what we need. I love when Generations try to rework characters, but this screams Grapple and does a good job at it. Such a fun toy and a great way to begin this new sub-theme. Sure, it's mostly just the name and losing the Cybertronian modes that they were losing already, but Grapple proves that they're working hard to make amazing figures. This is a simple guide, but an amazing toy. To clarify, Winnie the Pooh wants his ears back.